Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Dreamweaver's workshop. Today we are making, or at the very least trying to make, a baby block. What you're watching me do here, I just cleaned up my space, wiped off any old clay or anything like that, which is very important because you'll see when I slow the clips down a little bit that this white clay ends up being so dirty. Like, I have no idea how that happened. I don't know how people who work with white polymer clay keep it clean, but I wiped down all of my tools. I wiped down my table, yet somehow brown and green clay still got in it. It was very frustrating. But anyways, I'm trying to make a baby block for the project that you will see next week. No worries. We'll make the teddy bear and the baby block make sense next week. So I'm trying to make this letter block, and I wanted to do a white block with a light blue outline, because you know how when you see the letter blocks, the edges are a color and then the letter in the middle is a color and the block itself is one color. I was trying to do that. So I started with the white clay. I noticed that it was dirty. I told myself we'll clean it later, right? Then I tried to make some little strips with the blue clay, this blue clay here, to go around the edges. But the first time I did it was a bit too thick, or was it too thin? I think the first time it was too thin, and I was having trouble handling it. So right now I'm just rolling it all back into one smooth piece so that I can flatten it out, measure out some strips again, cut them out, and try to put them on this block. This is the first block that I tried. I'm not gonna lie, it almost brought me to tears because that is my clay roller thing that helps to condition and get the clay to a specific thickness. So that's what I was using it for, because I'm going to cut out strips. But anyways, you would think that making a square with a single color outline and one letter of the alphabet on it would be a very easy, quick thing to do. I'm here to tell you that it is indeed not quick or easy to do. I struggled with this so bad. I had 3 hours of footage of me trying to make this thing, and that's not including when I turned the camera off because I got so frustrated that I was like, okay, let me stop recording. Let me just try to do it without the pressure of recording, because if I keep going like this, I'm going to burst into tears. Anyway, I cut the strips for this block, and they're too thick. They're too wide. I'm trying to learn how to work with small things. This is not even that small. This is maybe like an inch, a square inch. But it's smaller than what I'm used to handling. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like I just can't do minis because they're too small. And this is not the size of an actual letter block. It's a smaller size. So I was like, oh man, I don't know how to make these little tiny strips, which I will say for that size block, for that size block, the thickness of the strips would have to be quite thin for it to look the way that I want it to look. And that was just not enjoyable for me to deal with. But anyways, we're not there yet. Here I am trying to use these thick strips, realizing that this is not proportionally right, but I'm going to keep going because maybe I can fix it and figure it out. Spoiler alert, I didn't fix it or figure it out. Anyway, so if you can see, also sorry, I had my hair in a bun and I'm shooting from the top down, obviously, and I didn't realize that my big old bun was in the way, so I'll have to figure that out for later. But anyways, I am obsessing over trying to get this block as sharp of a square as possible. And you can see where I put the little blue strips, there's gaps between the white block and where the edging should be. So I tried to take some clay and soften it as much as I can in my finger so I could smush it into that little hole. That didn't work out, so I'm like, okay, let me just pull back some of the blue strips and I'll fill in the edge with some white clay so that it can be a proper squared right angle block, and it's not mushy and soft and weird looking. That just ended up resulting in me taking everything off and trying to reshape the block again, because I was just not able to get the edges sharp. Everything looked like a melting square. It looked like a marshmallow, just soft. Regardless of the marshmallowness, I'm still of the mind of okay, This should be easy. It's just a square. This looks like a square. Put some strips around it and let me just smooth out the edge, and it should look like a block. I mean, you guys know how this turns out, right? So my next move is to try to get the stripes or the color area proportionally right. So I take off the thick strips that I made, I cut those in half, and now I'm going to try to do it with a thinner color around the edge. You can see on the white block where I like ripped off where the blue previously was. I'm seeing that some of the white clay is hanging over the top of the blue strip like a headband, and we're not trying to make block characters. We're trying to make blocks. You know, I'm not trying to make a gem block. I'm trying to make a letter block. Lord have mercy. But I digress. I do a lot of fiddling and all this type of stuff, and this is about where I'm like, I'm gonna cry. So soon I'm just gonna give up on this one, right? This is about the part where I was like, okay, I think I need to start over and just get rid of this one. So here we are. I turned off the camera, took a little bit of time. I made a bigger polymer clay block. I didn't try to make it too small. I just gave in. Like, too small is not working for me, so let me make it a little bit bigger. I also decided to go with the blue clay as the base, mainly because the white clay was getting dirty and I didn't know why. I wiped everything down. I don't understand. I had a genius idea that maybe if I took some string, because I thought if I used like my X-Acto knife, it would just smush the edges. If I use a string and cut off the edge, it'll make sharp edges. But I didn't even cut it straight, so it looked weird. Either way, I had a brain blast, and I was like, wait a minute. My issue is that the edges are not sharp enough. So what if I just like go and sharpen the edges with my fingers? Like, take the time to like pull the edges out to a point, pull the long edges like right angles, and then even if they're sticking out from the body, if I just smush it, it will make everything even again, and it should also maintain the sharp edges. I don't know if that's the right way to do it, but it worked out for me. Look at how much better and more squared off this piece of clay looks than the previous piece of clay I was using, the white clay. This looks more like a block. I was so happy with myself. Like, yes, okay, now we can do this, right? Now I think I can knock this out. So I took a ruler that I had and I guesstimated about how thick each border should be on the edges of the block. And I made those indents. You can kind of see them in the right hand corner. You can see the indents of where the white clay is going to go to make the border. I roll out some white clay. I put it through my clay roller, which is just a glorified pasta roller, mainly so that it is all one thickness again, because I don't need it to be all like different heights, because one piece is thick, one piece is paper thin, whatever. So, you know, I'm trying to be consistent. I then take my ruler again, and instead of trying to measure out 1/4 of a centimeter long strips, I just eyeball about how thick I think it's supposed to be. My ruler is metal and straight, so I made straight-ish lines. I made straight-ish indentations and then used my X-Acto knife to separate them and cut them to size, and this is where things start to come together. I'm really happy at this point. The strips seem to be the right thickness. I made them long enough so I don't have to like slot in a little piece of white clay and blend it to hell so that it stays. Everything seems to be going fine, except, I mean, like, is this me being picky? I feel like other people will be picky, so I'm very picky. The block, I don't know if I start smushing it as I'm handling it or if it was never completely like squared off, but you'll start to see, especially as I'm putting these white strips around it, that it's actually not like one side is squished. One side, you can kind of see it there. One side is a little bit squished. And yeah, I mean, I'm not mad. It happens, you know. It's my first time doing this. It was unexpectedly hard. I'm learning. So I'm going to go through here and you're going to watch me fill in the edges of the blocks so that there's a border around each side. I put a little piece of like clay strip on each edge, and then I'll roll out some clay to fill in right here. So I'm filling in the little space between each line so that it makes a sharp square edge. And yeah, because I didn't know how to do that without it having what's it called, like a line of demarcation where the two pieces met. So I just made a small soft piece of clay and smushed it in there on all 4 sides, And then I decided I was gonna put the letter B on there. Oh, you can see it there. You see how one side is shorter than the other, so it's making like a parallelogram. I unfortunately didn't really recognize this until after I baked it, but again, it's fine. Now I'm gonna put a letter B on it. I was very, very proud of this. I freehanded this B. It's giving alphabet. It's giving elementary school teacher. This B might be better than my own handwriting. This is the B is the thing that I'm most proud of from this piece, right? From this baby block I'm making. This is what it's looking like before I bake it. You know, I'm surprised I didn't realize it. I think I was just rushing, and so I was like, okay, this looks good enough. But the perfectionist in me would never let it just be good enough. This is how it's looking after I've baked it. I'm pointing out all the things that I see wrong. It's smushed and uneven on one side. This like bulging out on this side a little bit. The white border is not consistent. The B's are messed up. I tried to sand it flat, but you know what? It's okay. I failed this time. I'm going to try again. I'm sure it'll be better than next time. It'll definitely be better before next week with the new piece I'm making. So I'll see you then.